The year is 2053. Basketball is dead.
Welcome back to Season 2 of the Game Room. To kick off this new season, we're going to talk about one of the funniest games you've never played. Here's a premise for you to sink your teeth into. In a post-apocalyptic future, caused by an explosive slam dunk, Charles Barkley and his son try to foil the plot of an evil terrorist organization who are trying to destroy the world using the ultimate basketball from Space Jam. Along the way, they come across lots of new allies, including a cyborg, a cyber dwarf, and some of the descendants of the best basketball players of all time. Oh, and Charles Barkley's son Hoops, he may or may not be the chosen one. Who needs Planescape Torment, am I right? In case you don't believe me, here's some of the introduction.
In 2041, basketball was made illegal, and almost all b-ballers were massacred in what is now known as the Great B-Ball Purge.
Pure Shakespeare. Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden is an amateur RPG made by a couple of guys in their free time. It's also become a sensation across the internet, even being covered by major gaming websites like Giant Bomb. This is not just because the premise of the game is appealingly bonkers. The game is well written, has great pacing, and a deceptively fun battle system. The game centers on the man himself, Charles Barkley. We're first introduced to him as a downtrodden single father, trying his best to raise his son Hoops in the hostile environment he himself was responsible for. Years before, Barkley had performed a chaos dunk, a dunk so powerful it destroyed the arena, the city, and almost all the people within it. Since that fateful day, basketball has been completely outlawed, and lawbreakers have been ruthlessly hunted by an elite police force, led by Michael Jordan himself. Don't be fooled into thinking that the premise is all there is to the game though. It's been designed to function similarly to the JRPGs of old. You'll meet new party members and level them up, find and equip unique weaponry and armour, and explore an interconnected world full of nooks and crannies. The game plays a lot like a simpler version of Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy III, so people who enjoyed those games back in the 16-bit era will quickly feel right at home. The game mixes in a few new elements to the traditional design, such as some Shenmue-style QuickTime events. These are used sparingly though, and the meat of the game lies in its solid JRPG framework. And when I say meat, I mean it. The game's about 6 to 7 hours long for new players, even longer if they decide to do the optional side missions. Sure, it doesn't touch the 20 to 30 hours of the old SNES JRPGs, but for a quirky little freebie, the length is a pleasant surprise. And it manages to end before the game wears out its welcome. Battles are a lot of fun, with each character having several different attacks and spells. The combat is quite unique, with each attack having a different type of input. For example, one of Barkley's attacks is a jump shot, where players have to hold up to make him jump, then release the button at the apex of the jump to shoot the ball. The battles play out like a more involved version of those in Super Mario RPG, where traditional tactics must be supported by well-timed button presses. As a result, battles are something to look forward to in this game, as opposed to the tiresome interruptions they end up as in other games in the genre. The developers were a little cheeky when they put the game together, ripping sprites, backgrounds, and official art from other games and repurposing them for their own use. Take Hoops, for example. Mega Drive fans may be reminded of a certain speedy character from the Streets of Rage games. To be honest though, it's like any other free fan game on the internet. It isn't really hurting anyone, and it's essential to actually getting these games finished. There's no way this game could have been released if every asset had to be made from scratch. Considering the developers aren't charging money for it, it seems like everyone is more or less willing to look the other way. It's a good thing too, because this game has some of the best writing of any RPG, indie or otherwise. You can probably see the way it works from these clips. Lots of basketball lingo, references, puns, and in-jokes. The main references are basketball related, but there's also a huge amount of JRPG jokes sprinkled throughout the game. The great part is the game is done completely straight-faced. Eventually, the game's vocabulary starts to become natural and easy to understand, kind of like Nadsat in A Clockwork Orange. You can even take it back into the real world. Next time someone gets in your face, tell them to go jam with the rest. It feels pretty good, trust me. The best part is you don't have to take my word for it. The game's free and small to download. The download link will be in the description for the video below. Now the guys behind this have recently started working on the sequel, or as they call it, the second installment of the Hoops Barkley saga. This time though, it's a game with an actual budget behind it, because they're doing it through Kickstarter. The description for that will be in the link below as well. It'll be really interesting to see what these guys can do with a little bit of money behind them. Anyway, thank you for watching the second season of The Game Room. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. See you later.